Welcome back to another episode of Render to Reality, where we turn this 2020 Supra into this. This episode is making the car a lot faster, even though we're not touching on the exterior of it. Part of my vision is obviously to make it a lot faster, share that experience with you. So by the end of the episode today, you're gonna learn how your tuner unlocks your DME, which is your ECU. We're gonna flash it with my favorite tuning software for these cars. It has adjustments that are super cool, and it's finally really alive and feels like what a Supra should be. For those who need to unlock your DME, I'm gonna show you how to remove it really quickly and how easy it is. There's only one thing you can do wrong, and it's not clip the clips in all the way when you put it back. And I'll walk you through what I went through with Marin and what he taught me to make sure everything's good. Because when we put it in and I clipped everything back myself, it actually didn't start. Turns out
this was loose.
One of them was loose. And then Marin corrected me, and then it started. Pull up on this plastic cover. All of these plugs right here is your DME. So you're gonna do one at a time. You push down in the center, and then you push down each one, and then you can pull it out. And then you do the next one. And if you're wondering, how do I know which way they go back? They kind of just rest where they want to be, so it's pretty easy to put it back. So I have all of them out. I can get them out of the way. There's a clip right here, and another one right there. You pull it back. I try and get both of them at the same time, and then pull out. Careful, it's hot. You just shut off the car. And next thing you know, you have your DME removed. And this thing is very, very hot. Slide it back in, it clips in. So each one, I like to push it out till it clicks and then push it in just a little bit. And then you should be able to pull up on it. So I'm gonna push it in, and as you push in, it pushes that handle, and then you clip it. Clip. So you're gonna grab each one and make sure that it's solid, because if it's not and one's barely out, your car won't start. There's an unlock service linked in the description if you need to have your DME unlocked. You pull it out, ship it off, 1-day shipping, get it unlocked, get it sent back to you, and then you're ready to tune. Just pulled your DME out of your car. It goes to Marin.
We're gonna throw it to the bench. So this is a bench flash tool. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna power up the microprocessor in this unit here. We're going to send a command as if we were gonna just flash it. You can flash this way and actually inject a tune, but we're simply just gonna put an EcuTek software version. So it's just ready to tune right off the bat. So that way we can just send the file over his phone. He can flash it because it already has EcuTek pre-installed. It's important to be really careful with this. So when you're getting this done by someone, make sure they have a lot of experience. The pins here are extremely small and they bend quite easily. Now that we have it pinned in, we're careful with the cables. So now that we're connected, we're gonna go over and make a backup. We're currently using a B-Flash tool, and we're gonna go ahead and select Toyota here. I like to back it up just in case something goes wrong, so we can always go back. We're gonna identify, just make sure we have a good solid connection before we continue. Identify the processor, everything. So now we're gonna do a read, and we're just gonna make a backup. Pre-EcuTek. We'll go ahead and back that up. The reason this costs a lot too is these tools cost $5,000 to $10,000, anywhere from $500 to $1,500 a year. And you also are working with thin pins, and that's why things cost so much. So we're almost done backing up there. Then we're gonna switch over to EcuTek in a moment. So when we run it through EcuTek, EcuTek has worked with B-Flash together to where they made it just a simple solution where all we have to do is basically just hit a button. We're gonna go here, we're gonna select that it's a Supra. It sees it's there, got our software version, actually a great software version I like working with. And we're just gonna unlock. This is actually a pretty quick process. We're already done. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. So now if Cameron's flash corrupted or something, which is extremely rare, we would have a backup. We can just put it right back. All right, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect. We're all done here. So I'm gonna pull my power out first. We're gonna disconnect the cable, carefully remove our CAN bus communication here. We can go ahead and put this back in the car. So we're gonna make a file for Cameron here in a moment, so he can flash and see what happens. Went ahead and made a quick base map. We're just gonna go through and verify things. So we want to go check here. We're going to give him the ability to run ethanol. So we can do this by map switching. We can select a CAN sensor, a fixed value, or just turn it off and run on the factory mode. So we've got it set to fixed for all 4. And we're going to set up so he's got pump gas, E30. So if he's not quite sure how much fuel he has in there, and E50 just so he can have some fun until he gets his flex fuel kit installed. And then he can run whatever he wants. These cars after about E60, we do run out of fuel. It's kind of the max we really want to go. So I'm just going to go to check. So we're doing him a low power map. So if he's like in the canyon, it's a really hot day, something like that, or if he wants to circuit race, it's a little more conservative, a little less aggressive on the car, he can run that, or if his buddy's driving it or something like that. There we got a full power map, and then you know, E30, E50, and we're gonna make sure they're all 4 turned on, which they're not, because this was a base map that I just started with, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that on, because we want him to run ethanol and have some fun with the car. Since he's got a recall done, I do recommend that. He has to do map switching a different way. You can do this on the phone, but there are steering wheel controls, so we've got that set correctly, so we're all set there. And then we're going to go over and I'm just going to double check the torque tables here. Yep, everything looks good there. We've got limiting, so we don't go too much torque when we go into 6th gear. This one we will adjust later. This is an old map, but we taper the torque once we get to 6th gear to shut it down so we don't hurt that 6th gear clutch pack. Versus we look at his pump gas map, we're seeing this where we kind of taper that power in by gear, things like that. So we'll make that a little more similar looking, and I'll polish those up once we just get a baseline drive on the car. And we're gonna go ahead and go to his car and get it set up with his EcuTek.
To get it into diagnostic mode, once you plug it in, 1, 2, 3, put off the brake.
It's always fun doing this in Arizona. It's like just 108 degrees right now.
You're sweating right now in this car.
All right, now we're gonna go to program ECU, send vehicle info tuner. You're gonna type the model of your vehicle in there. So that should come up here.
Wait, I meant to hit BMW.
All right, and send the Meridians. And then we'll go back in, we'll send a file to your phone, and we'll flash it. Got your file here, now you're registered. We're just gonna upload to the cloud system. Go ahead and say stage 2, AC91, E50, and we're all done. We can pull the phone out, and it should show the files.
My car. Now we're gonna go to program ECU. Before proceeding, make sure the ignition is on, engine is not running, handbrake is engaged, doors are locked. Closed. Doors are closed?
Honestly, it's okay to leave it open.
Interior lights and headlights are off, air conditioning, program.
You want the door shut because if you open it and shut it, it will reset the ECU. So the first flash you do is first going to do a connection test to make sure it's got a nice solid connection before it does anything. If you update your phone, it'll do it again, but after that, it doesn't do it again. So the first one takes a few minutes to do a test. And then after that, the first actual flash is going to put race ROM on there, and that takes a bit of time because it rewrites basically the entire operating system. And after that, the flashes are fairly quick because it already knows that if race ROM's there, it already knows the connection's solid because it already knows your device. This first one will take about 5 minutes, and after we're done, it's like a 30-second thing.
So everything's working great as expected. You can now proceed and program the ECU.
The first part actually takes the longest. Now it's going to do the first flash. This one takes, I want to say it's 2 or 3 minutes. And then after that, updates are pretty quick. And then I'll put your stock on there as well, so if you want to go back to stock mode, you can.
Turn the ignition on. Hello. Program completed successfully. Close.
Right up. So we can show here the different map switching. Since you're on a newer version, what you do is there's actually a hidden button here. You can go up, and if you hold, we'll see the TAC jump up to 1,000.
Oh.
Now we can go to full power mode. We let it sit, then we'll select map 2, and now you're in full power mode.
Okay, so now I can go up and down?
Yep, and so 3 is your 30 map. 4 is your E50 map, and if you go up again, there's your valet mode.
Valet mode, so
and it goes by mileage.
1 is low power mode?
Yeah, low power is your 1. So you're good to drive on 2 at all times.
Okay, and then E50, and
E30, then E50,
okay,
and then valet.
Sweet.
And so there's even more, because like you can even go in here, you can change your power levels or burble settings. You can also do your map switching here. It shows the name of each one.
Oh, cool.
And then we go to like our burble adjustment, we override it, so getting rid of the settings I put in there. And now we're gonna go to my race ROM settings, and we can change this in real time. Anyways, might hate us, but give it a little blip. And then we can go all the way off. But I'm a man child, so we go like this. If you're racing, there's a lot of tools in this app that you can use.
How much horsepower approximately do you think I just gained with the stock car?
Right now, probably about 60 to 70 horsepower 91 and 70 to 120 pounds of torque.
Then I put E50 in it.
Should we go on a rip?
You on it?
Let's go. Who drives in auto mode?
Easy, I'm getting there.
Are we hitting the button?
Yeah, I hit the button. And it's only 115 out.
Mexico gets a little warm.
It does get warmer next hill. All right. Oh, it's really sensitive. It's a lot, picking up a lot quicker. Oh yeah, you have the burble on, the degenerate mode.
A little quicker?
Yeah. The torque is like night and day.
The torque is such a big jump.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because modern cars don't target boost, they target torque. So they put a larger turbocharger than they need. So that way if you go to like the top of a mountain or you go back to LA, you get the exact same power. So the car's predictable. It drives the same in all environments. And that's why we're able to extract this extra power out.
Oh, that's the slow down sign. Oh, dude, it's still slipping.
Spun all the way through fourth on pump gas.
And it's 115 now.
I was trying to hold the camera straight. It wasn't working so well.
Oh, dude, this thing is rowdy now. Let me turn the burbles off. Let me go the other way.
Brake, and just lift a little bit and floor it, and then roll into the throttle.
Oh, I can feel it. That's great.
Yeah, that's something we custom made.
That's really smooth.
So if you have sticky tires, it will snap your axles at a track. On the straight, it's fine. But at the track, it will snap the axles. I just put yours full on because you're not on sticky tires.
Okay. It finally feels like it should.
On a day this hot.
And yeah, and I'm gonna be driving with the traction control off every day. Drink up. So I gotta keep in mind that there's some fuel still in the fuel rail, and it's 91. Marin instructed me map 3 for a little bit, and then we go to map 4, once it's cleared out of the lines. Sport mode, had to get the GoPro out so I could have 2 hands on the wheel, put it in manual mode, second gear E50. Oh, the top end is crazy. Gotta get the traction control off. You already know we about to be spinning. Holy, it just goes. I'm gonna turn my burbles back up. Never thought I'd say that. I wasn't sure how many cars I could gap in this thing, but after that pull, I'm confident it's gonna be most. Track control off, it goes wild. Holy guacamole, this is a new car. That's a little much. It's stock exhaust too, dude. Dude, what the heck? Spinning in third, top of third, top of fourth. Oh my dude, this thing boogies. It's a whole new car. I've ever had. I got adrenaline is peaking right now. It's 113 degrees outside and this car is this fast. I think Chris is 340 his direct. Dude, how hard does it whip now?
Dude, it's so hard. I was like throwing back. I was like, it's gonna be fast. No, this thing is crazy.
This car is really sick. Feels like a spacious, luxurious Supra. You can hear it sounds so good. I love the spool of this now. That's what that's missing. Yo, you know what these are? These are big kid cars.
If my car doesn't feel like this, I'm selling it.
That was fun.
Dude, throttle response is like, I noticed it immediately from just pulling out of here.
You made it way more aggressive with the power to go with it. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa,
yeah.
Chill. Dude, with the traction control all the way off, isn't it nutty?
Yeah.
Just spinning.
It's just,
yeah. It's crazy how far back you sit so you feel all of it.
yeah.
Dude, the sickest part about this is when you just Dude, does it sound crazy from behind?
Yeah, well, because you hear the pops in the car, but it's like behind. It's
Yeah, that's such a fun car, dude. For how like what's the word? Economical it is.
it's a family car.
It's a family car. It's a dad car.
Yeah, literally.
If you wanted to be. All the links and resources are in the description. Thanks for stopping by today. If you're new to the Supra series, make sure you check out this video next so you don't miss out on a single one.